Happy New Year, 1st of January, and today, done the dog walk, got my coffee, and now I'm going to do the first day of my creative advent thing. So I did do a little video about this, but I'll just explain it again. Basically, in about June of this year, I collected up random balls of wool and a few kind of swatches and granny squares and things that I had lying around and put them all in this bag. And I knew that I would forget what was in this bag. And I put in, I think it's 31. Like, I've even forgotten how many is in here. And the idea is that every day in January, I'm going to pull something out of this bag, one of the balls, and I'm going to use it to kickstart something new. Well, I'm going to use it to kickstart something creative. I did it because I kind of wanted to have like a little like regular routine through January. I didn't want to have like a big resolution or anything, but I also thought that this might kind of inspire me to maybe try some new things, look at things in a certain way. I know there's going to be quite a lot of acrylic in here. I know there's going to be quite a lot of cotton. I think there's some mohair. I know that there's the little squares I mentioned, and the idea is that I'm going to pull them out and maybe it'll be like, oh cool, this would be cool to make like a trim for a t-shirt or something, or oh, this is actually part of a bigger project that I always meant to go back and fix, so maybe I'll use this as like the sign to fix it kind of thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record the first 7 days of me taking this out, and then I'm going to kind of pull it out, have a look at it, have some initial thoughts around what could I do with this. And then the next day, when I pull the next ball, I will also update on what I did with the previous day. And I think I'll do 4 videos. Yeah, 4 seems good. Rather than try and like turn it all into one massive video. And I might kind of run out of creative energy for this. I might find something else I want to do, but I hope to stick to it. And I think that this will help. So, all right. And also I know that Advent is meant to be before Christmas, but I'm doing it after Christmas. So just, yeah. Okay, anyway, right, so I'm gonna break the seal and find the first ball, and also try not to actually look in there. I don't want to pull out a square at the minute just because I want the first couple to just be like normal, as it were. So it's red cotton. It's actually the same red. It doesn't look it, but yeah, it does. It's the same red as this square. And I have been meaning to do some more squares and stuff to this chair. Like, I've got these kind of grey acrylic kind of protectors I put on it back when this chair was next to a wall and I used to bang off the wall. And they're pretty grubby and they're pretty not nice anymore. And I could kind of cut it off and do something with this. And I do have a bit of this lying around as well. This is not all I've got. So, okay, cool. First one. See you tomorrow when I'll pull the next one. Morning, next day. It's quite early and I need to go and put some makeup on before I go to work, but I quickly wanted to give you an update and pull the second ball of wool for this creative advent. And I wanted to do something to replace the covers on the armrest because they're like a bit ratty and I did them ages ago. So I started doing that yesterday and I realised it was too small. So I undid it all and I did it again and I just measured it against the armrest and it's too big. So this is what I've got. I have lots of little balls of these extra colours that I also used on it. So I was like, okay, I'll use them. And I kind of love that it's a little bit like watermelon colours. But the fact is it's too wide for the armrest. And I was going back and forth on it because I was like, well, I could just fold it over. Like, I think it's like this much too big. And I was like, I could just fold it over. You know, it doesn't really matter. But then I'm like, this is actually quite nice cotton, and I'm not looking for this chair to be like a masterpiece, but I want to like this chair and I don't want to sit in it and immediately see mistakes or whatever, and I don't want to unpick this. What I'm thinking is this is such a fantastic work project because it's small, it's compact, I can do granny stitch while looking at the camera so people feel reassured that I'm listening to them. Like, I'm listening to them anyway, but people feel reassured if you're making eye contact, obviously. So I'm thinking this can be my work project, and what I'm going to do, I think, is carry on just with the scraps that I have along here and then down this side and turn it into a square that will eventually cover the actual seat of the chair. This has been good because I've been thinking about doing more on this chair for a long time and I just absolutely would not have done that if I hadn't pulled that colour. Now I'm ready to draw the second colour. This is just beautiful. My nanny used to have a yarn shop in the 70s and they had all this gorgeous 70s mohair. She gave a load of this stuff to my mum. It's really thick, like it's DK weight, but it's just so lovely. And I ended up with a load of it. And I just feel like I just completely misused what I got given. It was all these beautiful colours and I just ended up like making loads of really random stuff. Whereas I feel like I'm a much better knitter now. I want to do something actually cool with this. And there's not a lot of it. And I'm not going to unravel it and measure it because I think that I'm going to struggle to ravel it up again. But I do have a project in mind for this actually. Okay, so this is the Kai Tai by Kylan Tennies. And I have a shirt very, very like this. It's slightly more kind of floaty than this one, but it's denim. And I mean, look at that. I think I'm going to make this little bow tie thing today. But yeah, this is going to be my project for today. All right then, I'm going to go put some makeup on and log into work and get started on this. Hey. January 3rd today, and as you might have noticed, I am actually unravelling the project I did yesterday. Well, it's from day one. It was going to be a square that I was going to use to cover the seat, but then actually when I started working on it, I didn't like the way it was turning out, and I was like, I always get very in my head at the beginning of projects, and I'm in my head for this one as well. But yeah, I just need to unravel, make it narrower so it can be a arm cover. I think I was very much like, no, I should only work on everything one day at a time. You know, every ball I pull at the start of the day, like that should be I should only work on it on that day. And like, no, that's not how I designed this. Like I wanted it to be something that might add to a bigger project or might kickstart a bigger project or just might be a testing for something. So I just need to remind myself of that and stick to it, I think. So you remember I was going to do the mohair tie and I did do it. So this has used up the entire ball. And I'm gonna wash it and block it today. It is like a tube, and I don't think it's gonna flatten or anything, but I just want to see if I can loosen up my stitches a little bit. But yeah, pretty soothing. I ended up abandoning the pattern I was going to use. It looks like a really good pattern, but I realised that it's basically, the bow is kind of built in, and then you have to kind of pull it through a loop every time you're going to do it. And I was like, with this kind of mohair that's so thick and so fibrous, that's not going to work for me, because I could imagine it getting felted really easily and dragging on itself and getting caught, and I needed something that I can just kind of do like essentially like this. I'm gonna block it and then wear it and you'll see what the vision is, hopefully. But yeah, it looks like a good pattern, and I definitely think I've got some thinner mohair, like this beautiful orange, that I might follow the pattern for, so I do recommend it if you're thinking about it. They also have an option to knit it in the round or flat, which part of me is like, should I try that just to practice knitting in the round? But day one, I'm unravelling. Day two, ready for blocking. Let's see what's in the bag for day three. Okay, so this is left over from a jumper I made at the start of the year for a family friend. And I don't necessarily immediately know what I want to do with this. Gonna give this one some thought. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Saturday, 4th of Jan, 4th day of this, and I'm starting to realise a slight problem with how I've set this up. In a way, it was fantastic to start, especially the first few days back at work with, okay, but I need to do the creative advent. And it got me trying all these cool new techniques and stuff, but now I'm like, oh, I kind of have like 3 new whips. And am I going to end the month with like 31 new whips? Yeah, so I'm not going to stop the advent, but I'm going to have a think about it. So what I've done so far, so I have, from day one, redone this. It's now the right size to fit on my chair, so I'm going to put that on today, so that's 1 whip already done. The little mohair tie is still blocking behind me, and yesterday I pulled the red chunky wool. I realised I don't really have many gloves, so I was like, why not try something I haven't tried before and make some mittens? So this is the pattern I'm using, Love a Free pattern, and I wanted to try out a bit more cabling. I split the ball in 2 to do the ribbing for the gloves, so they're knit flat, so I'm gonna fold it over and everything just to make sure I had enough. And then this is how far I've got with the first one. So I just seamed the thumb. My theory is that I'm going to steam these, and this wool is slightly thicker than this acrylic I'm using, but I don't mind that. I feel like it's not really going to be very visible. I'm not even 100% sure if I'm actually going to keep these, just because, wow, I have yeah, I have seamed that thumb very, very tight. I'm not even 100% sure I'm going to keep them. I'm going to definitely try wearing them out once. But yeah, that's where we're at so far. I've done slightly less repeats, well, one less set of repeats in the pattern than it told me to, just because I think the wool I'm using is a bit thicker. The thumb actually feels okay now that I've got it on. But yeah, it's just going to be a flat mitten. And I had loads of fun doing this yesterday. Like, I had one of those days where I actually had like a lot of time for knitting and stuff. Like, heaven forbid that I have plans on a Friday night. So I got all of that done. And it's also really good to be able to use up this acrylic as well, because I just had it for ages. I'm trying to cut down the amount of acrylic in my stash, even though I literally just bought a load more acrylic for a jumper I'm making someone. So this is exactly what I was hoping for from this project. It was just like a tiny bit of red that I had left, but it kind of sparked something, and now I'm making something I've not made before, because I've not made mittens before, and I'm trying out a new technique that I've not tried before, and I really love these bobbles and how they're coming out. I feel like this has been super useful as well for me to just work out how cables work and how patterns work for them and the construction of them, and to understand how it all kind of fits together. So that's been really good. But yeah, I do essentially now, I mean, the armrest, I'm already done with it. The mohair tie, I just need to wait for it to finish blocking, and then I'm done with that. Hopefully gonna wear it tomorrow to show you all. This is a bit of a bigger project, and I do have a lot of whips going on at the minute. I've got a green jumper on the go, which I'm loving, but I've hit this point where I'm like, I just need to get over the hump. I'm making myself this red cabled cardigan. I've got the wool for a jumper for my mum. I've got the wool for a jumper for my partner. I've got the wool for a jumper for my new nephew who's coming in February. And I have all my other projects that were already ongoing from last year. So for example, I'm making this massive lacy pride flag that I've been working on for about 8 months now. So it would be nice to get that done. Some amigurumi I want to make my nephew, like little toys, because his dad is really loves cows. And I've got like the Toft pattern for cows. So I want to do that. Anyway, this is all very long. Basically, when I choose the ball of wool today, I'm going to use, I really, 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 really would like to not start a new project. Like the other, and this wasn't just about starting new projects. It was meant to be, maybe I'll just try a different technique with it. Maybe I'll add it to something. Maybe it's a reminder to work on a different project, something like that. So, got my bag. Oh God, I can feel how tangled these are all getting as well. Okay, pulled a square. This is the swatch I did, and I don't normally swatch for crochet, but this is the swatch I did for the Tom Daley granny stitch shirt I made my partner in the summer. And I have been thinking this could be quite a nice pocket on the shirt, which would be relatively easy for me. I'll just weave in the ends. I think I've got enough of this black cotton left that I can attach it. And also with that shirt, basically what I did was, you know how like a lot of shirts have a split where there's like a tiny split in the hem? I accidentally crocheted that shut on this shirt, and as a result it really drags forward in the front. Like instead of like, this is like how a normal shirt would be, and instead it's like this whenever he wears it. So that could be, I reckon that would take me about an hour of work, because I think unfortunately, and I really need to stop doing this, I seamed from the bottom up and maybe seamed into the sleeve as well, so it will be quite a big deconstruction project to take it apart and seam it back up and add the little split at the bottom, and also add this. But I think this might be good motivation for me, because I've been thinking I want to do it and I just haven't. And he does wear the shirt, but I feel like it could look so much better on him. Okay, cool. And it's a weekend, so I've got time. So yeah, gonna do that today. 5th of Jan, it's a Sunday and it has snowed so much overnight. I don't think it's gonna stay, but it is like at least a few centimeters, more like a few inches actually. Took quite a bit of coaxing to get my dog out in the morning. I'm just looking at all the snow behind the camera right now. Yeah, and it's definitely going to be a day of staying in and knitting and crocheting today. This is the shirt I was talking about yesterday. As you can see, I've popped the pocket on. I was going to do it lengthways, but it wouldn't have matched up with the pattern. And I'm like, well, it's either like you've got a pattern match or pattern clash, I think. I also managed to do this bit. So I've basically just opened that up a bit, so when it hangs, it's going to hang a little bit better. I do need to dig out some of the peach cotton because I've got a few loose ends now that I just need to tie off. But yeah, basically this is done, and I've been meaning to do it since I finished the shirt in July, so very happy to have got that done. I've been working away on bits and pieces for the chair. The mohair tie is still blocking, so I won't show that to you right now. And look at this. I have never made mittens before. I have never done this stitch before, or at least never in a successful project. It might be I attempted it like years and years ago and forgot about it. But yeah, I'm like, the thumb's still a little bit weird, but I'm just so happy with this. When I put it on, you can see it's a little bit small. Like that kind of looks, I don't know where this little holes come from, but yeah, that kind of looks okay. That it needs to be fair, it needs to be steamed. And then that's a bit, and I have wide hands as well. So I feel like if I had beautiful, dainty pianist's hands, this would look really nice. Just notice it kind of matches with this. And then today I was going to do the second one because I enjoyed doing this so much and it made me feel a lot more confident. So I'm really glad I got to like try that. So that's my thing for today. I'm going to finish up the little odds and sods on the shirt. I'm going to I've got the cuff for the second one, so I'm at least going to start that. I think it'll go a bit quicker this time because I'm actually not familiar with the stitch. And that was such a thing for me with any kind of cabling, is just understanding how stitches stack on top of each other and how, okay, if I do this on one side, what's it going to look like on the other? I think it's like, once you crack the code, it's really satisfying, but I would say I got up to here before I didn't have to keep referring to the pattern every few minutes. Time to pick a ball for today, and I think because I still have this entire other glove to do, once again, I'm not looking to start a new project. It looks a bit familiar, yeah. I mean, it's basically the same colour and probably the same brand as this, but a bit thinner. I have no idea what brand it'll actually be. I think it's like DK. It's acrylic, and I think that this is enough for me to do a little practice square because I'm currently making, I think it's called the Cozy Cardigan, and the reason I'm doing it is because I'm trying to get more and more, I'm trying to get better at cables, and I've done the back and the front, which don't have any cables, and I'm about to cast on the first sleeve, but this is like, I've done a bit of cabling now, but this is like a whole new level of cabling, and what I want to do is just practice the pattern a little bit, because like I said with this, I feel like once I got more familiar with it, it went a lot faster and was a lot easier. So I think I'm going to practice with this, just doing the cable repeat. Morning, 6th of January, 6th day of doing this. Little update, I've got this far on the second mitten. From here to here, I was thinking, wow, this is flying by. I'm doing in half an hour what took me 2 hours before. And then got to this bit with the thumb, and I think it's just because I'm not used to doing a thumb gusset. But yeah, I just got so confused. I had to pull this back 4 or 5 times. I'm still not 100% sure I've got the pattern right again. At one point I'd accidentally reversed it. So yeah, I guess lesson learned here is if I do mittens again, which I'm definitely going to, definitely need to get past this bit, like can't pause in the middle of it, which is what I'd done. So there's that, and then I'm wearing the mohair little tie, which I love. I literally can't imagine wearing it with any outfit other than this particular shirt. But yeah, just really, really pleased with that. Probably will make another one. This is the test cable swatch I did yesterday. So you can kind of see here that this is like I was working stuff out. And then up here is super neat. And I think that's just because, yeah, it was just practicing it. And definitely, I also practiced a kind of springy cast off here, which up until this part where I got a bit confused, looks very neat. Yeah, just really pleased with that in general. And yeah, absolutely, if I'm doing cable stuff in the future, we'll do a little practice swatch like this again, and maybe at some point I'll have enough to like make a scarf or a bag or something. I don't know, very long way in the future, but yeah, glad I did this. So what's up for today? It's the start of the week, it's Monday, and I'm always very busy at the start of the week, so I don't want to pull anything that's too intense, but I do feel like I'm almost done with the mitten. I think I'm gonna get it done today. I'm pretty much done with everything else, and I'm open to another slightly bigger project. Here's the bag. Oh, this feels interesting. Okay, so this is Southern Hen cotton, and they do these, this is like the original size I bought it as, because they do like little sets of 4, and this will have been part of a set where I wanted one of the colours. And this, okay, so part of this whole kind of process has been me digging around for old things I found, you know, like, oh yeah, this would be cool, or like just looking for different types of wool to complement, like when I was finding the wool to go with these mittens and stuff, I ended up searching out some different needles to do this, and I just realised how chaotic all of my craft stuff is at the minute, and I'm trying to get it more under control. And what I've been thinking is I would quite like to make a little pin cushion for myself, because I always have all my pins in my little travel needle book, and it's like I'm not pinning on the go. And I only have them there because that's just like the easiest place for them, but I'm constantly losing them because they, like, you know, they're heavy, so they fall out in a way that needles don't from this. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make a little pincushion for myself today. I imagine crochet. I kind of want to do it like a little Christmas pudding because I just like love the look of a Christmas pudding, even though it's no longer Christmas. But I will look up to see. I want to do some kind of little cake to be a pincushion. I mean, I know I could do this as a hedgehog or something, but no, cake. So yeah, I'm going to work on that today, I think. Hey, welcome to the last day of my kind of creative January Advent thing. It's the 8th of January today because I realised that the number of whips I had was getting a bit out of control, so I decided to take yesterday to focus on finishing up everything, and I think that's how I'm going to do this moving forward. I think I'm going to pull different yarn from the bag for the first 6 days of a week, and then on the 7th day that's going to be my finishing everything up day. So first of all, progress. So I'm just going to count them off to make sure I've done them all. Okay, so we've got I attached the chair cover yesterday. We had the mohair bow tie thing, which I just love, and every time I see a clip of me wearing it, I'm just like, I just need to make more of those. Like, I want to get like a pale pink shirt with like a red mohair tie. I feel like that's gonna be a thing for me this year. Also because I'm starting to practice doing a bit more lace, so I would love to make some more lacy ties. But yeah, got that. Had the shirt, which is pretty much done. I think I just need to weave in one last end, and then that's ready to go back into my partner's wardrobe. The lacy panel, which I finished, and now I'm starting the sleeve. So I can kind of like, well, the lacy cable panel. So that was really good practice for that. And then we've got the mittens, which I have finished, which I think have turned out really, really nice. They are definitely too small for me, so I'm going to donate them, and I think someone with narrower hands than me is really going to appreciate them. I think I do kind of wish I'd had more of this super chunky wool to make the entire thing in the chunky, because I think that would have been really nice. But still happy with the way they worked out. Love the cuff, and will definitely be making some more myself. Yeah, and just really like this. And the pattern, which I will link, has also got a hat and I think a cowl as well in this style, so definitely recommend that pattern. And then the last thing was the little pin cushion I wanted to make, but it turned out I didn't have enough brown cotton for that. I have a bit left here, but to make the size I wanted wouldn't have worked. So I'm still very much committed to the idea of like making a pin cushion as part of this month. But yeah, now I'm thinking maybe like do a donut or something. I don't know. But I did make a little Christmas pudding. Look how cute. I just love a Christmas pudding. I love something about these colours together. I love like just little round things. Like just how cute it is. Look at it, look at it. I used a free pattern for this, but I'm not going to link the pattern and I'm not going to share it. There are loads of patterns in Ravelry you can find, because I did not personally find it a very good or intuitive pattern. Like to the extent that part of me was like, is this AI? And then I like looked at the blog and I was like, no, this seems like a pretty genuine blog. Like they commented at one point to say that they'd adjusted the pattern and stuff. Like, but yeah, basically the actual pudding itself, the brown bit, was fine. It was a little bit strangely written in terms of like within the same line it would use one term for an increase and then use a different term for an increase further down the line of the same pattern, which is a bit confusing. But yeah, when it came to the custard, or the kind of the icing on top, I did what they did and it was just really weird, and I ended up just kind of doing my own thing of slip stitch, stitch, half crochet, double crochet, and then 3 double crochets, and then reverse of it to get this wavy effect. And with the leaves, the way it was written was just really like, they were telling you to do more stitches than you had stitches on the chain to do, and I ended up just kind of fudging it a little bit and just kind of coming up with something. So yeah, I would not, but I am super happy with how it turned out. Little Christmas decoration. Finally going to put away the Christmas decorations today so this can go in the box them all, and I think I'm going to be delighted when I find it next year, because I will definitely have forgotten I did this. So that's that. Yeah, and I'm pleased that I actually got around to doing that, even though it is January and it feels a weird time to do Christmas decorations, because I just didn't get a chance to make many in the build up to Christmas, so it's nice to have that. After this, I'm going to move on to the second week of it, which I have decided, because I've got quite a few granny squares and squares in general in here. Next week, I'm just going to pull squares and come up with different things to do with them. Some of them it might be, I know for a fact some of them are part of a project that I meant to fix, similar to the shirt, so maybe I'll use it to fix a shirt. Some of them I think I can turn into something. Others I might just unravel and use the yarn for something completely different. But yeah, I'm sure if you're anything like me, you've got a few different granny squares lying around from a project where maybe you made too many, or maybe you were testing it and then didn't like how that looked. So yeah, maybe that'll be interesting for you as well. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want. Bye.